Hello and welcome to the long-delayed All Things Rift Episode 8. Today I'm taking a look at the auction house and a way to make some extra platinum, but first, the news. Patch 1.3 is on its way. Yesterday they had it up and running on the test servers. I was not able to be there because my wife and I were having a lovely dinner with my parents. And as these things usually go, there's not a lot of information available about what transpired. What we do know is that the devs are promoting a new event that has an increased number of death and water rifts, but no coins falling from the sky. Now, I've been playing an outrageous amount of Rift over the last few weeks and never saw any coins falling from the sky that did me any good in the first place. Now, what I did see in the last event was a major increase in fire and earth rifts, and I stand by my previous statement that this is not an event. It's either really fun or really annoying, depending on your perspective, but not an event. Now, if these death and water rifts contain garden gnomes or pink flamingos, that would be an event. The biggest news coming from the test servers had nothing to do with an event, but rather a detail that was noticed by several people, and this will be of particular interest to subscribers of MMORPGs and stuff. This add-on interface. Yep, it looks like add-ons are coming to Rift. No official announcement has been made, so at the moment all we can do is wait and see, but it certainly looks like Curse.com can finally start building its Rift page. Now, other news. If you are not up to date yet on the merchant buyback snafu, the problem has been fixed, and you can buy your stuff back from the merchants again. Also, in case your head is buried in the sand, then let me inform you that Rift will soon be offering free and unlimited server transfers. The only catch here is that when you transfer a character to a new server, you have to stick with that server for 7 days before moving again. So, all you ninja looters out there, make sure you wait until day 6 to steal stuff. Now, I think this will be universally seen as a good thing by the player base, but if you are running a guild, you'll definitely want to watch out for Ninja Looter, Tattletale type websites, because I imagine there will be a huge increase in nefarious activity. Now, I am personally of the opinion that the great sale prices we've seen, the 7-day free trial, and the free server transfers are all reflections of a fantastic marketing strategy in which Trion Worlds wants to establish Rift as one of the top games very quickly, especially considering the impending releases of Guild Wars 2 and Star Wars The Old Republic. And I don't think that this is an indication that Rift is losing subscribers quickly. But if you don't believe me, there is this article on riftjunkies.com, which has not been confirmed by Trion, but makes a strong case for the idea that Rift's population is not only healthy, but is quite possibly growing. The article claims that Rift has surpassed 2 million accounts, and you can read the article for the details on how they came up with their info. Also, and for whatever it's worth, Xfire.com demonstrates that Rift's numbers have remained constant for the last month, although Xfire is only able to track a tiny sliver of the total population of the game. Finally, over at TrionWorlds.com, we have a couple of new developments. First off, and I'm not sure when this news dropped, so it could be old, but Trion's MMO that is being developed in conjunction with the Sci-Fi Network has been officially titled Defiance, proving that the leak that I reported on in March is correct. Also, Trion has picked up the rights to the MMORTS End of Nations, a highly anticipated combat strategy game. Now, this is great news for Trion as it gives them another guaranteed revenue stream. Now, normally I would say that it could be bad news for fans of Rift because the last thing we want to see is our new favorite game developer overextend itself, causing the quality of our game to go down. In this case, though, Trion is not developing the game, but rather providing the servers and publishing it, so it looks to me like this is a win-win for everyone, and hopefully will translate to even more money to be put into the development of Rift. And now to the game. And first off, I'd like to announce that my Defiant leveling guide is finished, and I'm going to guarantee to my viewers right now, this is the best Defiant leveling guide available. Period. Now, currently, I'm just waiting for final approval from the merchant that handles payment, so as soon as I get that, I'll be launching a modest ad campaign, so MMORPGs and Stuff subscribers will be the first to know when it's released. Now, what this means in terms of today's episode is that for the first time, I'm actually learning about aspects of Rift that have nothing to do with leveling. Now, I'm probably one of the few people on the planet that has been averaging over 40 hours per week in the game, and for anything outside the realms of leveling and quests, I have first-hand experience at pretty much nothing. So the moment I pulled my head out of the leveling sand, I thought, I need to figure out how to make some platinum. So the first place I'm heading is the auction. So when I right-click the auctioneer, the interface looks like every other auction I've come across in games, which is awesome because I can already tell it's not going to take forever for me to figure out how to use it. Now the first thing I want to do is find out what I have that's worth selling. Now I notice that I have this artifact here called Slade the Storm Heralds, which I already have, so I need to unload it. So I click the auction tab and drag it to the slot. I'm suddenly realizing that I can't wait for an auction add-on to drop because I have no indication here of what I should be selling this for. But I go back to browse and type the name of the artifact up here in the search, and sure enough, there it is. It looks like the lowest possible price you can pick this up for is around 12 gold and 1 silver. Now that's not bad considering that for the last 3 months I've been selling all my spare artifacts to the vendor for a silver. Now I have the normal options, starting price, buyout price, and a duration of 12, 24, and 48 hours. I notice that the deposit price does not change with my pricing, nor does it change when I select different durations, so that makes auctioning things in general pretty light on the wallet, which I like. Now obviously I want to do that with the rest of the items that I won't be using, but I also want to figure out what kinds of things I can easily collect that can generate a good income for me. Now, I know that since this is still a new game and there aren't going to be a lot of filthy rich players in Rift yet, I can expect that figuring out where I have a decent chance to find collectibles and item drops and then coming back and selling them for outrageous sums is probably not going to happen. Instead, I'm going to find things that I can collect easily and sell large quantities of, and for the most part this means materials. So I go to crafting and materials. Now, I honestly really have no idea what the best options are, so I'm just going to stick with my experience from other games and choose metal. I click search, and this brings up the standard ores and bars we expect in our games. I can probably expect that things with common names like copper ore are probably easy to find and probably won't take me long to work up the skill to get them, whereas things with names like orichalcum ore might be a bit out of my reach as a gathering noob. Now I can sort by name, unit price, and current bid. Skipping to the point here, before making this video, I actually discovered that steel bars have a really great unit price of 30 gold per bar, with multiple sellers, which indicates that this is actually the going rate. And because they are called steel bars, and not something like infused nether abracadabra bars, I can probably get these fairly easily. So after a bit of rooting around online, I learned from Zam.com that steel bars are made from combining a chromite bar, an iron bar, and a stable flux. Talarapedia.com informs me that I can buy the stable flux off of Ajax Mellis over in the manufactory in Meridian. Oh, and by the way, you can also assume that there will inevitably be players who have no idea where to get stable fluxes, so you might be able to buy items like this from Ajax and take them straight to the auction and sell them for a profit. Yeah, it's sort of a scumbag way to make money, but is it your fault that other players are willing to buy from you rather than figuring out which vendor sells them for less? I think not. At any rate, I also checked the auction prices of iron bars and chromite bars to make sure that selling steel bars is more profitable than selling the individual components, and I discovered that combining everything into a steel bar, at least right now, looks to gain me about a 25% increased revenue. Now, a little more rooting around online tells me that the steel bar recipe comes from a random drop that you can get through mining nodes, which is fine because I'll be mining a lot in order to get to the point where I can mine the iron and the chromite. And when I can mine those things, I'll want to get a lot of them so I can start cranking out the steel. Hopefully, by the time I have 100 iron and 100 chromite so I can make 100 steel, I'll have found the steel bar recipe. Now, I've also discovered this fantastic mining guide over at ProGamerCity.net, which has maps that clearly demonstrate where to go to get the ores I need. My sincere thanks go out to Rift Bro for publishing this guide. Great work, bro! And that's it. I'm now ready to begin my mining career and plan on turning it into a great amount of money at auction. And that also brings us to the end of All Things Rift Episode 8. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.